Today's video is on the top 5 tallest trees ever found.
Number 5. Raven's Tower. Deep within the Prairie Creek Redwood State Park in California is Raven's Tower, by far the tallest Sitka spruce in the world, reaching 317 feet at the last measurement, and still growing. It was first discovered in 2001 and has used the moist, foggy climate to become much taller than others like it. It's covered in moss, lichens, and ferns, and the branches are so thick that soil is able to form on them. In the case of Raven's Tower, this has meant that the second network of roots has been able to develop on its branches, more than 160 feet in the air, and provides larger quantities of nutrients to the higher parts of the tree than would be possible if it relied on the roots at ground level. This is the reason that it's able to grow so high and set a record that other Sitka spruces are unlikely to be able to beat. Number 4. Dorner Fir. When it was first found in 1989, the Dorner Fir in Oregon's Coos County Forest was the tallest known non-redwood tree in the world. Despite being beaten by a few others now, it still ranks amongst the highest. Oregon has had a flourishing logging industry for more than a century, so most of their largest trees have long been cut down. It was a surprise to find the Dorner Fir, which had probably left alone because despite being more than 327 feet tall, it's relatively thin, with a diameter of 11.5 feet, so hasn't got as much wood as other nearby trees. A recent survey found the top to now be dead, which is not uncommon for such tall trees. This means that it won't grow any taller, but will instead dedicate its energy into growing wider. Having been given protection from any logging activities in the future, it's quite possible that this will, one day, be the largest Douglas fir in the world by volume as well as height. Number 3. Centurion. Centurion is a 500-year-old Eucalyptus regnans tree in a remote forest in the southern region of Tasmania. It was first discovered in 2008 during a routine survey of the area, and since then has grown by more than 2.5 feet to its current height of 327.5 feet. It's the tallest hardwood tree in the world, and it's believed to have been even taller after researchers found evidence of a broken stem high up in its foliage. Despite its slow rate of growth, researchers think it could sustain this for quite some time and regularly measure it to chart the changes. Centurion has grown within a small area of an ancient forest that's surrounded by secondary forest. It's now protected from purposeful destruction, having miraculously evaded loggers, but recently has been severely damaged by a forest fire. In early 2019, the Reveau Road fire destroyed thousands of hectares of forest in the Huon Valley, but thanks to efforts by the forest officers, Centurion was only left with a scorched hole near its base. Experts believe that it's structurally sound and are doing everything they can to help the tree live for many more centuries to come. Number 2. Menara. The island of Borneo has a climate that's known for enabling the growth of countless plant species, and researchers are often finding examples of giant trees, but no one expected the discovery in March of 2019 of the world's tallest known tropical tree at Yellow Meranti. It's called Menara, which is the Malaysian word for tower, and measuring 330.7 feet tall, it's estimated to weigh around 90 tons without its roots, which is about the same weight as a fully loaded space shuttle. It was first identified during an aerial survey and is the tallest known flowering plant to have ever been found. Despite there being a number of other gigantic Yellow Meranti nearby, the species is considered to be highly endangered after having been cut down by loggers for decades. The rainforest where Menara grows is protected, and it forms a vital part of the local ecosystem. Yellow Meranti hosts as many as 1,000 different insects, fungi, and plant species, all of which are under threat if the trees continue to be felled. There's a chance that an even taller tree could be growing within the surrounding forest. Researchers found Menara by conducting laser scans of the canopy to see where particularly tall trees emerge. But this technique isn't as effective at discovering ones that grow from within cavities within the ground. Menara itself has grown in a hollow with a ridge nearby that helps protect it from the wind, but it's not thought possible for it to grow much taller. Theories on how trees cope with wind stresses, as well as their ability to pump water and nutrients to the top, suggest that it's close to the theoretical maximum height that a tree of this type could grow at any place on Earth. So even if a taller yellow Meranti were to ever be found, it would probably only take the record by a few feet. Number 1. Hyperion. By far the tallest trees in the world are the redwoods which grow in California. There are many that are taller than 300 feet, a few that have grown beyond 350 feet, and the tallest of all, Hyperion, which in Greek means the tall one, and towers 379.7 feet above the ground in the Redwood National Park. The species is thought to typically live between 500 and 800 years, although some have been found that are more than 2,000 years old. Despite its extreme height, Hyperion is believed to be at the lower end of this at just 600 and has plenty more time to grow even higher, even though there's evidence of woodpecker damage at the top, which has prevented growth in recent years. The tree has an estimated 550 million leaves and has increased in height at an average of 1.5 inches a year since 2006. If it continues to grow at this rate, it's expected to remain as the tallest tree on our planet until 2031, when another redwood, called Paradox, is expected to overtake it. It's no coincidence that the world's tallest trees are all in California, as it has a unique climate that provides exactly what they need. It has mild temperatures throughout the year, heavy rainfall, and regular fog, all factors that allow trees to grow higher and faster than their counterparts in less consistent environments. The precise location of Hyperion, as well as a number of other similarly sized redwoods, is a closely guarded secret to prevent vandalism, unintended damage by visitors, or theft by loggers wanting to take the 18,600 cubic feet of wood that it's made from. The whole park is carefully protected too, and it's thought there could possibly be more trees that are even taller than the current record holder. Hyperion was only discovered recently in 2006, so it's entirely possible that there's another one out there that's yet to be found. Honorable mentions. General Sherman. General Sherman is a giant sequoia tree in the giant forest of Sequoia National Park in California. While it's not one of the tallest trees in the world, at only 274.9 feet high, it is easily the largest tree in the world by volume. This is because the circumference of the trunk ranges between 102 feet and 79 feet. In total, this 2,000-year-old tree is estimated to contain 52,500 cubic feet of wood, which is almost 3 times as much as Hyperion, the tallest tree in the world. Kapok trees. Growing up to be 200 feet tall, kapok trees weren't even close to making the list of tallest trees ever found. They grow in more difficult conditions, though, in the rainforests of Central and South America and Africa. Here, they are king and tower above everything else, while providing shelter for species of frogs and birds within the grooves of their huge trunks. Each kapok tree can produce between 500 and 2,000 fruits at once, with each containing 200 seeds. So they are very effective at reaching far and wide throughout the rainforest. So dominating are the kapok trees in these regions that the Maya once believed that the kapok tree stood at the center of the earth. Giant ash trees. We know of the tallest trees in the world because of precise measurements carried out by researchers, but it's quite possible that there are species that can, and do, grow higher than the current tallest. The problem is, the best examples have long been cut down for construction. Some of the best contenders for being secret record breakers are the mountain ash trees that grow in Tasmania. They grow as much as 5 times faster than redwoods, and could grow to 300 feet in less than 100 years. They don't live anywhere near as long though, with a typical life expectancy being somewhere between 350 and 450 years. Historical records suggest that this is plenty of time to eclipse the giant redwoods of California though. In 1881, a surveyor measured a mountain ash that was 370 feet tall, which is only 5 feet shorter than Hyperion, and there were several others measured at similar heights.
I hope you all enjoyed today's video, narrated by Zach this time. Be sure to subscribe for more and check out some of our recent uploads.